I thought, therefore, that as an introduction to younger listeners and a reminder to older listeners, it might be helpful at this stage just to summarise the salient facts before we get underway. From the moment in March 1973, when one of the 5 Watergate intruders disclosed in a letter to the presiding trial judge that perjury had been committed to shield the criminal involvement of more senior officials of the Nixon administration, until 9 August 1974, when Nixon resigned the presidency in disgrace, Watergate became a U.S. cause célèbre and indeed a national obsession as well. Many U.S. friends around the world thought the country had taken leave of its senses. How could it show such disdain for the man who had brought peace with honour in Vietnam, détente and arms control agreements with the Soviet Union, and a big start towards normal relations with the People's Republic of China? What was Watergate other than a third-rate burglary, as the Nixon people tried to claim? Is it fair to say that even today, many Americans too young to have shared the experiences of Watergate might be posing the same questions? There are several answers as to why this is important. First of all, there's nothing small or insignificant about a number of senior officials from the Nixon administration and campaign gathering in the office of the Attorney General of the United States to discuss such political operations as wiretapping, planting office bugs, and spreading outrageous lies. Such matters go to the very heart of the political process. No small matter in a democracy. Second, in joining the cover-up early on, Nixon threatened to corrupt important agencies of government. Asking the CIA to pull the FBI off the investigation was no trivial exercise of politics as usual. It was the abuse of 2 of the nation's most secret and most important security agencies, neither of whom can afford to squander the public trust with which they've been invested. Third, the Watergate investigation brought to light other abuses of power, threatening the rights of Americans, rights guaranteed by the Constitution. For example, in approving the famous Houston Plan, an entirely unconstitutional plan for activities like burglaries without court warrants against those suspected, however vaguely, of plotting illegal activities, Nixon was usurping the historic role of the judicial branch of government. From there, it was a small step to burgle the office of the psychiatrist treating Daniel Ellsberg, the man who had leaked the so-called Pentagon Papers chronicling the decisions leading to massive U.S. intervention in Vietnam earlier. Medical and psychiatric records are, of course, privileged and cannot be divulged in the United States and many other countries without the patient's consent. Another strict break of the law. Concerns generated by these presidential usurpations came dramatically home to U.S. citizens one October evening, when Nixon ordered his Attorney General to fire Special Watergate prosecutor Archibald Cox, when the latter refused to obey a presidential order to abandon his subpoena for Watergate conversations preserved over the White House taping system. The Attorney General and his deputy both resigned rather than obey the order. Although the third-in-command executed the order, the national loss of support for Nixon had by then passed the point of no return, and he was forced by a Supreme Court decision to turn over the tapes. The tapes proved damning, both in content and tone. Once they came into the public realm, few doubted that Nixon's days were numbered. There is, of course, a lot more to be said about Watergate. Nixon had long been known as a political gut-fighter who sought no quarter and provided none to his foes. Even so, had he chosen early on to dismantle his taping system and destroy the incriminating documents, he could